Alright guys, I'm back here over at Cassone's RV right there, and we're going to try to explain some things that have been going on. Got beard shaved too. So about a week ago, I didn't really tell anybody what was going on. I flew over to Virginia Beach and picked up a motorhome. It wasn't a complete spur of the moment decision, but I didn't tell anybody what was going on, and I just kind of, on my TikTok channel, documented the drive back home with that motorhome. Well, we're in Kentucky, and I got my co-pilot finally driving. But I swear, weather's been on point this entire time. Absolutely gorgeous, even in Kentucky. But I didn't explain what was going on. Was that I had a viewer contact me about a month and a half ago. He had been living in his motorhome for about, I don't know, the better part of, since 2005, I guess. So about 16 years. Really didn't drive it a lot, repositioned it a few times, did a couple cross-country trips, but basically used it as a seasonal home. So unfortunately, he's at a stage of his life where RVing wasn't going to be something practical for him anymore, and the RV did need a little bit of work. He was quite honest about it, that it maybe got neglected more than it should have in the time that he used it, because again, it was a seasonal home. So he asked if I was interested in maybe finding somebody to buy it and getting it fixed and getting the maintenance done on it that needs to be done, because he had started maintenance on it, but he also had reached a point of his life where he just wasn't going to be able to use it anymore, so he couldn't justify doing some of the maintenance and work that needed to be done on it. We went back and forth for the better part of a month trying to figure out the best way to purchase it, the best way to meet up and get everything handled. I was able to find a dealer to purchase it. If you watch the TikToks or some of the videos, you should have seen some of it, but this is a 2005 Forest River Georgetown XL. The way he was explaining the motorhome, this is a Ford chassis, a gas unit, but it was a bath and a half in 2005, and so I was very intrigued by it. So let me go ahead and show you guys what we're talking about here and what is going to be my next kind of big project. Now, a keen viewer might have already noticed that there's a little bit of damage right about here, but that's just a slide out fabric that can be changed out. In fact, the owner had a whole roll of fabric that he provided with us because he was going to do that anyways. Yeah, it does have some paint damage. What I'm going to do is take you guys on a quick walkthrough through it, let you know what's kind of going on with it and what the plan's going to be. There are two big issues on it. And the good news is it's something common that I think a lot of my viewers would probably run into in their motorhomes, so it should be something at least be helpful for other people to see how to fix too. So let me just go ahead, open up these slide outs real fast. I drove it from Virginia Beach all the way to Phoenix, and I didn't have a single issue with the chassis. I mean, truth be told, I didn't have a problem with anything. Everything actually worked. There are some issues though. So let's go ahead, do a quick walk around the outside, and I'll try to point out all the obvious problems and what we're going to do to fix them. So the paint on the outside, yeah, it could use some help, and it could use a wax job on the rest of the white. The patio awning fabric needs to be replaced. That's pretty obvious. And you can kind of see there's likely a little bit of a sealant issue right up there that they've been fixing. Now this window, when you're driving, it's very obvious to see it is fogged up in there. Because believe it or not, I was surprised to see that too. They had dual pane windows in this Georgetown in 2005. I'm not actually a big fan of dual pane glass because I don't really think they insulate much better or nominally better, but they all almost fog up over time. So that's just something on the list of things to do. Before you guys do ask, yes, I did put brand new tires on because I'm not driving across country with original tires from 2005 in 2021. This out, the inch door lock needs to be, or holdback needs to be replaced. That's pretty straightforward. The basements, let me get the keys. So this actually has over the top storage right there. The compartments are in good shape. I don't even see real water damage there. But this is coming from Virginia. And unlike Arizona, they actually have moisture. You can see he's loaded me up, and he's done quite a bit of work to this motorhome already. No doubt in my mind. He's a really nice guy, and he was really proud to show me this motorhome. It was fun just to fly out just for that, not to mention the cross-country trip. Now in this compartment right there is just going to be the propane tank. Nothing you have to do right there. All these doors work just fine. He did what I would have probably done too if my refrigerator went out. He did put in a residential refrigerator right here. All right, again, just another storage compartment. Not too much to see other than the holding tanks. All right, now we get to this slide out room. So we already know about the slide out topper has to be replaced. That's no big deal. You can kind of see that seal. I don't even know why this is here because this shouldn't be here. So I would just be taking that off anyways. All right, another over the top storage in the back right here. So this does go over the top, but not to the other side. But yeah, even the struts are working on this. Just more storage. And more storage, and this does not go over the top either because you'll see the back is where the bathroom is, and so there's holding tanks on the other side. Now I will pop up on the roof real fast. The backup camera does not work. Now this roof is an FRP, fiber reinforced plastic and or paneling depending on who you are. So it's a pretty durable roof, and it has metal radiuses right here. So the downside is that it can pool water because it's not seamless, but Forest River did think that through a little bit, and they did put drain paths for the water to get out. Other than that, the roof is in pretty decent shape. It doesn't feel bad. It's a little dirty. I'm really not sure what sealant was used when they resealed it. It's a weird sealant. But ACs both work because I used those on the drive back. They could use some new shrouds. And you should be able to see that slide out topper needs to be replaced. And that one does too. But we do have everything you'd probably want. If we go back here on the skylight, again, I'm not sure what sealant was used on here. I might end up replacing this just because I don't really like the look of that. But as you can imagine, one of the first things I did when I got to Virginia was to look at the roof and walk on it and make sure that I wasn't going to fall through. All right, go to the other side. Did I mention the engine ran fantastic? Now this is, if you saw the two ACs, a 50 amp service, which is fantastic on a gas unit of 2005. So I have a 50 amp shore cord transfer switch because, so on this side is going to be the first sewer dump. This is a bath and a half, so there's a rear bathroom here and a front bathroom in between the two slide outs. So this is 2005. This is pretty early on having a bath and a half, which I thought was surprising. I didn't even know they made that in 2005. And rather than having a macerating toilet that would pump the sewage to the front black tank, it actually has two black tanks and two gray tanks. It's the right way of doing it. The only downside to that is that now you have two dump ports, one right there and then one right there. I don't consider that a downside because you can get a Y adapter, so the two sewer hoses go to one. A little bit more frustrating at a park, but if you've ever dealt with macerating toilets, I think you would probably trade a little bit of a sewer hose damage to any sort of maintenance or upkeep on a macerating toilet. Also, you know, the gravity toilets do flush a lot better. Now right in here is going to be that generator. It's a 5500 watt Onan, so just this by itself is a pretty expensive generator to have. And if we look underneath, I know everybody wants to look underneath, it's from Virginia, so it must be really rusty, right? It's really not that rusty. That's foam, spray foam from the factory. There's the frame. Might be pitted a little bit, but I've seen a lot worse, that's for sure. It's not flaking off. And this does have 4-point hydraulic leveling on it too. So if you look at this slide out box, this has the BAL or the ball AccuSlide cable drive system on it. Not a huge fan of it. but it's not a deal breaker for me. Underneath, you can see the rollers have cut into the flooring right here. So this is something that will have to be addressed before it actually causes some problem. But what's even more impressive and strange at the same time, this is a brand new water heater. So the previous owner just went ahead and changed this out maybe a month before I picked it up. But what's strange about it is that this is a 6-gallon water heater. I don't know why they would put a 6-gallon water heater on an RV with 2 bathrooms in it. I mean, a 10-gallon water heater's like $100, $150 more, probably OEM price. I don't understand manufacturers sometimes. Right here is the water bay. Looks like he has changed out the water filter housing a few times. Maybe not plumb the best up there. Again, just storage. He's got a lot of parts and a lot of stuff. Everything came with the motorhome. Now this slide out does have a little bit of an issue. We'll see it on the inside. But this is a hydraulic slide out, which is pretty impressive too, because that's a pretty expensive upgrade. You can see the hydraulic pump for the jacks and the slide out. This is right there, and this is storage over the top to the other side. Last few compartments here. Really, it's just more storage. And more storage, you can see that again. It does bring me to one of the great features about gas motorhomes is that most of them will get a driver's door. You don't get driver's doors on a diesel pusher. And I did drive this across country, and so it's really nice just to be able to hop out to the gas pump right there. It even has footholds for it right there. That's pretty much the exterior of it. Clear paint, which plagues the industry for whatever reason, is peeling off of that too. But that's pretty simple stuff. It is a Ford V10 Triton, so the same engine that's going to be in my truck. And that's the outside. It might be a little rough, but I've seen a heck of a lot worse. This is almost the perfect Class A gas motorhome that I've found. I keep saying that I like mid-coach entry doors rather than having an entry door right at the passenger seat that you generally always get on a diesel unit. Diesel units don't usually have a mid-coach entry. So that means you always have to walk past the passenger seat in and out. So if you have a passenger sitting in the seat, it's kind of annoying getting in and out. And then the entry door feels much more like a house. It's usually going to be under the awning, so you don't have to worry about the entry door awning still raining on you in between the patio awning or the entry door. All right, we'll go ahead and go inside. I believe the batteries are kept underneath right there. This says battery disconnect, and battery's working just fine. Now this floor is torn right here, but that's about the only real damage. I'm not really worried about it because all you need is a little bit wider trim, and that goes away, rather than trying to change out the entire floor. Let's go ahead and get you the reveal. So here it is. There's your slide out right there. You have your living room, galley, and there's the entry door. So the layout's actually pretty nice. And what I was really surprised, this is a 2005 Georgetown, and check out the countertop. This is solid surface Corian countertop for the galley area, and it's not thin like they would have had it on a Winnebago. It's thick. Yeah, it's only in the galley area where you have the Corian countertop, but that's still really impressive. It's not an offensive pattern, and this aged really well. Truth be told, all the color choices and decor choices aged really well, with the maybe exception of this right here. But I'll let you guys in on a secret. This is just decals. You could actually use a razor blade to take that off if you wanted to. It's even surprising that most of the hardware is not brass. Maybe the light fixtures have some brass to it, but it's not an offensive amount of brass. And I think whoever did the decor on this did fantastic. Doors are solid wood. Of course, the cabinets themselves are going to be engineered lumber, so that's a sticker. As a sticker, it's pretty impressive. At 16 years, there's not a lot of bubbling. In Arizona, you'd have a lot of bubbling from the heat. So, good job, Virginia. Pretty impressive also how the condition of these seats. I've seen seats 2 years old falling apart. In fact, that red that we just rebuilt had seats falling apart because the fabric was bad. But the driver's seats are in great shape. The only real damage to the vinyl and the soft trim that I really noticed was he did have a cat right here, but that's $3 worth of material to rewrap those. The dash itself, I think he actually had a mat covering it. The backup camera does not work. The radio is an old radio, so I would probably just go ahead, change out the radio with the backup camera all at the same time so they all work together. And obviously he did do his TV up front. I would likely redo this TV setup just because he has it on a hinge underneath right there, so this whole thing hinges down and there's just really one latch holding it. I was really scared the entire drive that it was going to flip down and kill me, but luckily it didn't. That might not impress you guys, but it does impress me. 2005, the fabric is vinyl. It's not Ozite or fabric material that gets all dusty or stains. As far as the rest of the soft trim features go, the only real other damage I saw was going to be on the couch. So more than likely they sat on the couch a lot. But this is a hide bed. I can replace that. We can replace the couch, no big deal. The dinette booth. I'm not a big fan of dinette booths, but it's here. It's going to work. It's fine. But that does give us to the next big issue, which is not the shade. Obviously, the roller shade needs to be replaced. Anybody that's ever lived in the South will already know and expect what's coming. If we look underneath the dinette right here, you'll notice this wall has some water damage to it. So much so that the table itself really isn't mounted because the structure that it's mounted to is gone. So there is water damage in this slide out. More than likely it's going to be from this window, not from the box itself. If we look above, right here, that's all solid. It's possible the window just overflowed because it got so much rain and would run down right here. It doesn't look clean right here, so maybe, but it's also more than likely, based on what I'm seeing out here, the window was not sealed properly in the opening. So we'll be taking that window out anyways when we have to rebuild the wall. That's a first big issue. And everybody that was thinking there's probably water damage to this, there's water damage to this. You were right. Now here's that residential kind of garage refrigerator we put in. He didn't mount it very well. I will have to resecure this or make a decision if I want to go back to an RV refrigerator or not. But the hallway area is really nice. It's even set up for a washer dryer combo. It's all pre-plumbed right in there. He kept the panels from the old refrigerator, which is really nice of him because these would have been a little bit harder to replace if I wanted to go back, because those would have gone on the old doors for the freezer and refrigerator. Take us to the first bathroom, which is right here. Let me get this TV out of the way. The TV out of the way, you can see the first or the front bathroom. So it has its own gravity toilet right here. I think the water valve on this toilet's actually leaking, so he actually did give me a brand new water valve for here, which is nice of him. You can see he started working on it. But as far as bathrooms go, it's a pretty decent sized bathroom. A lot of modern bath and a halves on diesel pushers, you don't have that kind of room. So it's pretty impressive. So the roof ACs are ducted together, so that's a pretty nice feature. We have a fantastic fan in the galley, which is a pretty nice feature. These are a lot of upgrades that you wouldn't expect on a gas unit like this. Monitor panel, command center, it's pretty straightforward, simple, easy to use. Say much more than that. There's a pocket door to the bedroom, so of course now you can see the bedroom right here. That would lead us to our next big problem if you saw it. It's gonna be right there. Guess what? We got some more water damage. Now this is gonna be in the slide out box itself. So because it's carrying up high like this, it's more than likely the slide out box is leaking. That was definitely unfortunate to find that. But when it comes to the floor, I've walked everywhere else in the floor. I don't feel any rot in the floor, which is important. So obviously you have your standard closet slide. The TV that I just threw away would have gone right there. But what I did like was this cool feature back here. Again, rear baths on a gas unit is not common in any way. Usually it's still in the mid-coach. So you have a rear bathroom. It looks like French doors. That's just one window. And then this is the actual French door into it. Yeah, there are privacy shades, so people can't look in the rear bathroom from the bedroom. Don't worry about that. So in the rear bath, you have a guest bathroom in the front. Private master bath right here. It's got its own linen closet. Obviously vanity and the shower. Now this is going to be the last two kind of issues. Like I said, the sinks are not in good shape. They need to be replaced. I don't know I've never seen sinks fall apart like this, so that's pretty crazy to me. But like I said, in the basement, we actually have brand new sinks. And then I think the last kind of big deal is going to be the shower area. It should be pretty evident that maybe there was some water leaking in here. That's why I want to replace that skylight. The surround itself is quite yellow and hideous. And unfortunately, this plastic tub basin is cracked, so he has tape on it. Likely one of the last things I will do would be to replace the shower, tub, and surround. Those aren't too big of a job. I've done those before. But you can see we have another fantastic vent right here. So that's 2 fantastic vents in a gas unit. Some diesels don't even have fantastic vents. But there it is, guys. I'm pretty impressed by this 2005 Georgetown. It's 3 slide outs, bath and a half. I think it's got 20,000 miles on it. I'm not really sure if I can put a comparable RV at the time other than an Adventurer from Winnebago. But I'm confident the price point between that Adventurer and this Georgetown was substantial, even in 2005. So I guess color me surprised that I drove across country to go pick up a Georgetown to try to fix for you guys. I don't know the repair schedule on this. The last week here, we've had so much rain that I haven't been able to do too much. And it's cloudy again, believe it or not. But I'll try to keep you guys updated, and this should be a lot of fun. Hopefully I answer any questions that you might have. Thanks a lot for watching. So time will only tell if that was a good purchase for whoever bought that. But you guys saw me rebuild an Allegro Red that was substantially worse than that. And that turned into a pretty good project at the end too. And there's very little work in comparison on this one. Should be a lot of fun. Now the downside is that I'm kind of really busy, and I don't know how much time or how long this is going to take to do the work that needs to be done. And I volunteered to fly across country, drive it back, and we'll take a look at it. This is like the 3rd cross-country trip I've done now in the last few months, and I've really enjoyed each one of them. I've tried to share them with you, and so it didn't take a lot to convince me to do that 3rd one. Kenny, that was a delicious dinner that I appreciate you sharing with me.
No problem.
You guys go make sure you check out Hillbilly RV channel on YouTube with all-season mobile RV service here in how do you pronounce it?
Beckley, West Virginia.
Beckley, West Virginia. And don't forget about his partner over here, Cameron, right?
Yes.
All right. We wish you guys well. Thanks you very much for taking, how do I put this? Taking time out of your life to spend time with me as I'm crossing West Virginia.
I was just super glad you called this morning.
Thanks a lot. 3 trips I've gone cross country on now this year, and not a single engine problem. I need some, there's wood in there somewhere.